How's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay? How many of you are high school coaches? All right, good, because that's what we run, a high school offense, okay? That's what we run. So you guys are who I'm talking to tonight. We're as simple can be, okay? I've been doing this a long time. I started out coaching junior high football at a little town called Nashville, Arkansas. There is a Nashville, Arkansas, okay? And then from there, I got into Division II ball. I coached 1AA ball. I coached mid-major ball. And then I got into what they call the big leagues, okay? And I've enjoyed everything that we do. Now, I'm going to get into a couple of things here real quick. First of all, I've been the guy going out and I've been the guy coming in, okay? I've been the guy hired, I've been the guy fired. And real quickly, I want to go through this fast. The number one thing going into a room, I think you have to build relationships with you guys. You got to develop trust off the field. When you tell them something, you got to follow through, how long the meeting will last, all those kind of things. No surprises for an offensive lineman. Nobody likes surprises. Levels of teaching. I believe the how, the who, and the why, okay? I believe this about coaching offensive linemen. I think number one, we can go get us a doctor, a lawyer, a truck driver, and we can teach them who to block, okay? I think we can really do that. It's the how that's the most important thing of all to me. And then you develop at the PhD level and you go into the why of what you do. The methods of teaching, we do it with 4 levels. We draw it, we show it, we walk it, and we do it. Okay? When we get out on the practice field, we want to make sure that we're doing it. Okay? Number one, the biggest thing to me in walking into a new room is negotiable and non-negotiable items with a bunch of offensive linemen. I think that's very important. Get it out there in front of them, lows, pre-snap penalties, knockdowns, all those kind of things. And I always tell my guys this, it's very, very important. Don't try to negotiate a non-negotiable item. Okay? I tell them up front, if you have a loaf, don't try to negotiate that, okay? Because that's not negotiable. But how you doing, Coach? Yeah, good to see you. Now, negotiable items are knockdowns and things like that. I wanted to get into that real quick. I know we want to get into some stuff here. This is our grading scale. Very quickly, 74% below is a poor performance. 79 to 95, 75 is not good enough. 84 to 80, you did your job, and so on and so forth. I wanted to get into that. Now, into that. Now, offensive line emphasis. We believe this, that we want to coach our guys from the ground up. It always starts with their feet. I think in the game of football, it starts with the feet. I am a toe-in guy, okay? I'm a toe-in guy at the first level. I am a toe-out guy at the second level, okay? Now, we put a really strong emphasis on our hand placement, what we want to do with our hands, all right? On the front side of any technique, we are what we call loaded hands. A loaded hand is the thumb is above the elbow, and the thumb is pointed up. That is a loaded hand, okay? An unloaded hand is the thumb is below the elbow or the thumb is pointed in, okay? So everything that we do, we want to do with loaded hands, especially on the front side of any technique. On the back side of inside zone or tight zone, which is one of our main plays, we're the flipper technique or the Crowther fit, okay? We flipper, and that hand placement there is very important for us on our double teams on the back side of the tight zone. And then the third hand placement that we use is the gather technique, which is what we use at the second level when we approach linebackers, okay? I call it a gather technique. Some people call it a pitchfork, whatever you want to call it. So it's loaded hands. We make it very simple for our guys. Loaded hands. If you're on the front side of a play and we're pushing inside zone to you, you are on the front side of the player. We are running the power gap scheme to you. We are loaded hands. Anytime we take a pass set, we're loaded hands. It's very, very simple. Anytime we're on the back side of inside zone, we're Crowther fit, and then at the second level, when we approach linebackers with a gather technique. I want them to be able to master those things. Now, we believe this. I'm going to skip all this with our stances and stuff like that and get to some scheme stuff. We employ 9 different foot placements, okay? We employ 9 different foot placements. We use a little finger step, which is a short 6-inch jab step. We use an angle step, which is where we drive our head out over our toe, where we're blocking on down blocks on the power and the gap scheme with no inside help. All right, we're a combo step, which is an over and up step. We want to hit on the ball of the foot. We use a lateral step, where we also hit on the ball of the foot. We use a half bucket step, which is a reverse combo. Some people call it a bucket step, but we want to hit on the ball of the foot so our hips and shoulders stay down the field. We use a full bucket step, which is where we open up the foot, and then we use a skip pull on the power, a pull technique on the counter, and then we use what we call a 4-step technique on outside zone when we get to it. So I'm going to skip through these and get to some scheme stuff here real quick, okay? Unless y'all want to look at that, maybe we can do it some other. Now, one of the things that we try to do in this spread attack that we run 4 plays, okay? We run tight zone. We run power, which is the open end power. We run the counter, and we run the buck sweep. Okay? Now we do a lot of bells and whistles off of this. I've been doing everything in my power to talk my boss, he's City Hall. Now you don't fight City Hall, right, guys? How many of your head coaches in here? They're not going to fight you. I promise you, they're not going to fight you. Okay? We've done pretty well running a football, but I do believe that we need to run some outside zones. So this spring, we hired a new defensive coordinator. And a wise man taught me a long time ago, it ain't about winning the argument, it's about getting what you want, right? It ain't about winning the argument, is it, Coach? No, you don't have to win the argument. It's just getting what you want. So I went around behind and I told Will Muschamp, he came in, I said, now, Will, we need outside zone. I would appreciate it if you would go to Coach Malzahn and tell him that you need outside zone. Okay? So I got it done. And I got it done. Now, y'all going to keep a secret for me here, aren't y'all? Y'all going to tell on me, are you? So Will went to him. He said, Coach, we need to see some outside zone. So we worked on it a little bit in the spring. I think that it will help us. Okay? We've had the benefit of having a good quarterback. Okay? Now I'll say this. One thing that I've learned after 39 years of coaching, okay? I know how I can coach good players. I'm not very good at coaching bad players, okay? But I can coach a good football player, and we've had some. Is Jeff Grimes here? Jeff Grimes was a former line coach. He's not my son. This is my son right here, okay? He calls me his uncle. Jeff Grimes was the line coach at Auburn before I got there. He's now at LSU. I tell you what, I owe Jeff Grimes because Jeff Grimes left me good football players, okay? They needed to be worked with a little bit. I followed this guy right here who's the line coach at Cincinnati. I followed him at Arkansas State. He left me some good football players that were well coached, and we were able to get those guys to being functional and playing pretty good. I can coach good players. Now, players. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about here real quick is the inside zone. We call it inside zone. To me, there's 3 types of zones. There's tight zone, there's mid zone, and there's outside zone. We run the tight zone. Okay? The landmark for the back is generally about 6.5 yards deep. The landmark for the back is the crack of the center. We're running a veer path, and we're really going downhill. Okay? Now I know this. For me to keep my job at Auburn, there's one thing that I have to really do a good job of, and that's coaching double teams. Okay? I've got to do a great job of getting guys hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder, over and getting vertical push on people, okay? Now, there are different kinds of spread attack. We're considered a spread offense, okay? But it is a run first, pass way down the pipe is passing the football, okay? So we've got to get good at the double teams. Now, in this particular instance right here, this guy right here, the sniffer back for us, is a very important guy in our offense, okay? If we don't have one, we're not going to be very good. In 2013, we averaged an unreal amount of yards. We averaged 328 yards a game rushing, okay? It's unbelievable. It really is. We've ran the football, so once in a while when I say to the head coach, look, I need outside zone, we've only ran for 7,917 yards the last 2 years, okay? So he looks at me like I got a pecker growing out of my ear, okay? I mean, which I kind of understand. But on the inside zone right here, all we're doing is we're blocking that defensive end. I would like for this defender right here, or this fullback right here, to get his hat down inside, but we're trying to get vertical push on down people. We're going to ID the first bird in the box to the call side, and this is a give all the way. This is a give all the way, okay? Again, we're going to ID this linebacker right here. The backside is going to work here, and we've got to handle that guy with the nine receiver, or our back's got to handle that guy. A lot of times we're going to hide our back, bring him in, buzz him in to try to hide him a little bit. The key coaching point is for our guys to stay square, okay? In this instance right here, we've got a fan look. I don't like my right guard right here, but anytime we get an edge defender, okay, we've got to fan to that defender, all right? It's an uphill push. We're not going to let an edge defender come off the edge on the front side, all right? Now, in this particular instance right here, we're fanning this out. I don't like the air time with that inside foot right there, but we are able to hand the football off, and again, we're not reading this play. In this particular instance right here, we know right now that number 4 right here has got it out of the bubble alignment, so the line is blocking inside zone. We're pushing vertically. We do not know. I tell you what, Coach Dye came in to see me. Pat Dye, there's a field down there named after this dude. Okay, he's been around a long time. And we ran one of these plays. We threw that bubble, and he said, "Boy, I hate that play." I said, "Why, Coach?" He said, "Well, you're not teaching your offensive line anything." I said, "Coach, the thing that you don't understand is the line has no idea that we're throwing this bubble, okay? The quarterback and the receiver know we're throwing that bubble right there." He said, "Oh, okay, I get it." Anyway, blocking the end, throwing the bubble, okay? Now, and this one right here, we had a pretty good quarterback. I think he's going to play DB in the NFL, and I think he's got a chance to be a good player in the NFL, okay? If anybody gets into any Wildcat stuff, he may be one of those guys. In this particular instance here, what we're doing is we're pushing to the field, okay? We're blocking with the fullback. We're blocking the defensive end right here, all right? This is going to another level with the quarterback read. We're now reading the safety here, okay? We're now reading the safety right here. Again, guys, I'm not sure this is for NFL coaches. I don't think you'll run your quarterback like this, okay? But I think in high school, I think it can help you. I know right now we're running this offense, and it's been pretty good for us, okay? But again, our receiver right here is blocking the corner, and we're reading that safety right there. We're going to block the read key, and the quarterback, well, now if he misfits, now we've got a chance to have a good play with the quarterback running the football, okay? Again, up front, we're working our double teams. We're trying to get our hips together. I'm using the gallop technique. How many of you are using that gallop technique? I call it a shuffle technique. I like it, okay? It's fundamentally, for me, it's been good. I've been able to get some of these guys, and it's different, okay? A lot of people ain't, and I'm not trying to sell it, okay? It's not something that I'm selling. All I can tell you is that it's worked for us, okay? It's worked for us, and we've managed to get our hips together pretty good and not get our double team split, okay? And still manage to get vertical push up front, okay? All right. Now again, we're reading the safety right here. On this one right here, guys, you know, we do a lot of different things with window dressing. And all we want to do now is we just want their eyes to get out of a gap, okay, where they can't come downhill. So what we're doing right here on this zone is we're just giving them a little window dressing with the lightning motion. Now, the hard part for me as a line coach is we do a lot of this stuff, and when we're on the road, we have to use the center, okay, with his snap count. That's hard. It's hard, okay? And the reason being we do so many shifts and motions that it's hard to use the guard to tap, all right? And we have to do it because of the loudness of the stadiums that we're in. And people can get us jump on us when we're on the road or we're in a loud stadium. But again, all this is right here, guys, this is just window dressing just to try to get them out of a gap right here. All right, now the next thing that we're going to do is we'll take that sniffer back. We're still running inside zone. And again, guys, we run 4 plays, okay? We run 4 plays. I don't know why in the world we stay up there from 5 in the morning till midnight when we only run 4 freaking plays, okay? But that's what we do. We'll stay up there from 5 in the morning till midnight every day, and we'll run those same 4 plays, all right? This one right here, all we're doing is we're zipping our back, just a little window dressing, and we're going to come back and kick that guy out. Kick out the read key and block that guy. Just split zone is all it is. And again, this is versus a bare front. And this is one of the reasons now I think, Coach McNally, we need outside zone versus this bare, don't we? Will you write a letter to Coach Malzahn stating that, okay? All right. Now, and again, what we do, we stay up high on the guy. This fullback's playing for the Texans now. He's a really good player. We weren't quite as good at that position this past year. As a result, we did not run the ball quite as well, okay? But this guy right here is a very, very important guy. We've got 2 of them right now that we think are going to be pretty good, okay? Again, split zone, we're pushing into the boundary now, and we're working back to the field, trying to get vertical push here on this guy. All right? Now, Now, inside zone read, the split zone read, okay? This play right here, now all we've done is we've taken that and we've run the back play, we've run the back play, we've run the back play. Now we're going to come back and we're going to read that guy right there, okay? He's going to, the fullback will act like he's going to cut him or hit him, and then we'll read that defender. Now, on squeeze and scrape, we go ahead and chase with a tackle. I know a lot of people go ahead and continue tracking front side. We go ahead and chase just in case. I don't want my tackle to have to know when he's got a 3 back and when he's got a receiver there. You'll see it later on in the tape where you'll see why we go ahead and chase with that tackle right there. But again, we're reading the defensive end and we're making that guy right there, make him think right here. We're trying to block him, and then we'll read him. In this instance right here, we started getting a lot of games, okay? When we played Missouri in 2013 in the SEC championship game, we were getting a lot of crap, okay? And the key coaching point, you know, one thing that I like right here, I can see these guys' numbers here. Nobody's turning their shoulders or their hips. Got a lot of good drill stuff that we use to help guys stay square and we stay tracking. I would like for 56, now he's zeroed in on his linebacker right there, but I'd like 56 to keep tracking right here. Go ahead and take this defender here. Now, as the fullback is working backside right here, if he feels the guy's too far up the field, then he'll slip him inside, all right, and we'll work up to the second level, okay? All right, now, on this particular play here, the quarterback is just keeping the football. We're again, with a squeeze and scrape, with our left tackle here. He goes and works to number 14. So does the fullback, and we end up with 2-on-1. It happens sometimes. All right? This is the triple part of the play, okay? All the line knows is we're running inside zone, okay? And if I need to slow down or I need to speed up, somebody tell me, okay? But we're running inside zone right here. We're slipping with the fullback. He's going to the scraper, to the safety. If the scraper doesn't come, he'll work to the safety, and then the quarterback's reading this defender here. If both of them come off, then we'll throw the football. Now, this play was just about to get outlawed in the NCAA, but they backed off of it, okay? They backed off of it. We've had it called on us one time, guys. One time when I was at Arkansas State, they called a play back. But other than that, we've been pretty successful with this play. And it'll happen 1 or 2 times a year, all right? Here we're in pro, we're in 21 personnel, okay? We're just running zone read, all right? The corner comes off, they trap, the safety doesn't get over in time, we get a pretty good play. Pretty good play. Nobody's downfield. We found out that this kid can run too, okay? He's one of the fastest ball boys in college football right there. In fact, I think he self-proclaimed himself after that. All right, the zone arc read, all we're doing now is we're putting the 3 back to the field, okay? And now what we're going to do is we're going to act like we're cutting the defensive end off, and we'll read him. He'll arc just like he would on the slip play and work for the linebacker, for the scraper, to number 4. Again, working these double teams, that's really important to us, okay? I think our second step's got to be better there quite a bit. All right. Again, working the arc play. Quarterback is now reading the defensive end to keep it. I thought the fullback right here showed good patience. And again, in high school football, I think this helps. All right. We're running this out of spread. All we're doing here is pushing. We're reading the backside end. We're pushing into the boundary, reading the end of the field, okay? And we will throw, if they come off, we'll throw a bubble late, okay? We will throw the bubble late off this, all right? If they give it to us. He expanded right here, so our quarterback kept the football, or excuse me, he gave it this time. Here in just a little bit, he hands it off. If you're going to miss, I've always thought this, if you're going to miss the read, miss giving, okay? Don't miss by pulling, miss giving, all right? And we'll get back to the line of scrimmage as long as we don't allow penetration. The one thing that we've been pretty good at is we're not allowing a lot of penetration up front, okay? Our hips are staying together, and I've had to really, when we came to this tight zone, I was a mid-zone guy forever and ever and ever, and started running this tight zone, and I had to adjust my footwork. I had to tighten my footwork down a whole lot. So we're really vertical with our footwork, okay? And that's one of the reasons I think we need outside zone right now, because right now everything is funneling inside, and when I step to a defensive end, it's one play, it's the inside zone or the tight zone, okay? But I've had to really tighten my footwork down to stay square. Again, we've ID'd right here to number 6. Our number 2 receiver right here is going to pass him up, and we're going to work the center to the second level. He's trying to work that gather technique right there. I wish his left hand was better. All right, now, what we're in right here, okay, we're in one of those pace situations, okay? One of those, hey, we're running. I mean, we're going really, really fast right here, okay? And one of the things, there's no way you can make an ID up front. As much as possible, we try to ID the linebacker. In this particular instance right here, the thing that I like, I think we're a little bit high right here, but everybody is nice and square. okay? And that all starts with their footwork. If their footwork is good, then they're, I tell people this, the toe bone's connected to the ankle bone's connected to the shin bone's connected to the knee bone's connected to the thigh bone's connected to the hip bone's connected to the rib bone, and the rib bone's connected to the shoulder bone, okay? My kinesiology professor taught me that way back when, okay? I learned that. And what I've found, as long as my toes going down the field, then my hips are going to stay down the field, and we're going to stay nice and square. That's what I like about this picture right here. Now what we can do in this instance is we can just kind of feel it, okay, and then gather people. Quarterback here, you know what he decided? He just decided I'm better than him. He just pulled the ball and ran with it and scored a touchdown. Okay? That's okay. When you got a dude like that, sometimes it's good to miss taking it out. Okay? All right. This instance here, once again, we're working. Now what we'll do here is we'll push into the boundary and we'll throw the bubble. Okay? We've got 4 coming off this side here. Then we'll throw the bubble. All right, boundary read right here. Okay, we're pushing to the field. We're reading the defensive end or the outside linebacker into the boundary. He hands the football off right here. He's thinking this guy's going to work across his face, which he should, so he gathers that guy. Okay, we're reading this defender right here. In this instance here, we're reading into the boundary. Okay. And now our tackle right here, we've ID'd 23. Our tackle's going to work into the B gap up for number 18 right here. Of course, he pulls the football. All right, here we're going to push into the boundary, read it back to the field, okay? I'm going to give the ball right here. All right, in this instance here, what we've got is we've got a 5-box, okay? We're not reading this. If we can tag this play and tell us that we're not reading it up front. If we get a 5-man box, and we will never ID behind the call, okay? We'll never ID a backer behind the call. We will only, we're running to the right here, we're going to ID this linebacker here. The will linebacker's out of the box, the Mike. So what we're going to do now is we're now going to lock that out, okay? We're going to lock out and run on those 5 guys and let our back handle this safety, okay? So we'll lock that out right there. Or we'll sift it. If the backer is tighter to the box, we'll sift it. Here's another lock situation. This right here is another lock situation against Alabama. We've got a 5-man box here. We've ID'd number 33 right here, backside tackle. And what I do with that is I use the Crowther technique on the backside of that lock. Okay, we're going to use the flipper technique. All right, now here all we're doing here is we're just running inside zone and we're throwing a little old spot out here, okay? Just another way to get the ball on the perimeter. Here we're just running inside zone, we're pushing to the boundary, hand the ball off. Let me go to the next play here. Any questions? Now, this is another reason, because Coach Hiller, Nick was telling me y'all don't chase, okay? This is the reason why we do, okay? This is the reason why we chase with our left tackle right here, okay? Right now, he doesn't really know. We've ID'd outside the box here, okay? Because we'll never ID behind the play, all right? So our center's ID'd out here. Our backside tackle is working to number 4, all right? And we teach our quarterback to get vertical right there, so we want that tackle to chase. He doesn't know that the fullback's not coming, okay? So that's the reason we chase right there, which we're blocking for the quarterback more than anything when he goes vertical with that ball, which we had one of those guys that could do that was pretty good at that. And the kid we got coming next, I think he's pretty good too. Anything on this inside zone read? Again, we're throwing the football there. All right, I like this. This is another way to run inside zone, okay? The line, when we block this, the line is just hearing the call. They've heard it 1,000 times, okay? But we're in that diamond formation right here, okay? And what we're doing here is our fullback is just blocking split zone read, okay? Where he's coming across, all right? And our diamond back is now blocking 4, okay? When he comes back and arcs for 4, and the quarterback is now going to read the defensive end right there. Our fullback does a nice job of slipping that guy, okay? Again, versus another bear front, getting a little movement right here with the center and the guard. All right, here, once again, our fullback is reading. He's running split zone, read, and our diamond back has 4. Okay? Just another way to run the split zone. This has been a good play for us. This has been a good play for us. And we will ID the center. We're just running inside zone or tight zone again. So we're getting all those reps. All right. All right, we've been, the next play that we run, we've been a pretty good 2-back power team, okay? The open end power, all right? And that's one of our signature plays. That's one of our everyday plays, all right? And all we're doing here is we're taking this fullback and we're lining him up at the butt of the tackle right there, and we're kicking out the defensive end. Rule-wise, it's very simple. A gap to the number 2 linebacker, B gap to the number 2 linebacker, first defensive lineman backside, skip pull for the onside linebacker, and a step and hinge on the backside, okay? Really, really simple, okay? We just do it over and over and over again, like for my guard to be a little bit lower, but once again, it's a 6-box play, okay? Got to make the safety miss there. All right. Now, in this instance right here, they just misfit with the safety. Thought my tackle here did a pretty good job of coming underneath with a gather technique right here. We're kicking out, not a great job. Again, we weren't very good at this position in 2014. We're as good as anybody in the country in 2013. Okay? Back's got to make the safety miss. We will. Herb, you in here? Herb Hunt, you in here? Here it is right here, baby. We ran it to the left. Okay? We ran it to the left. All right. Now, you know, this is joking, okay? We had our fullback, all right? We had him read the defensive end right here. I'm kidding, okay? He's really supposed to block the defensive end here, but he got such a feel for it here. When he felt that guy go up the field, then we ended up putting the fullback on 4 right there. And that truly was a mistake by our back. He should have blocked the defensive end, but he had such a feel for that he ended up just slipping that guy going up to the second level. This guy here don't know whether shit or go blind, so he closes one eye and farts. You know, it's one of those kind of deals, okay? Because we've been messing with that guy and messing with that guy and messing with that guy with a read zone and everything. Now we don't even have to block the dude, you know. So that fullback had a great feel for that. All right, here, this is man on, man outside. Our front side tackle's got to gather the defensive end, okay? We got to get our hat inside right there with that fullback, and the backside guard just skip, pull, skip, pull, skip, pull, skip, pull. Do it over and over and over again. We ran this play, I want to say, 80 times in 2013, and we got one clean look the whole year. The rest of the times people were moving on us and all that kind of garbage, and hey, we were able to handle it pretty well. Okay? Another time here where we've got an on call right here, and we're just doing window dressing with a lightning, what we call lightning motion. We're just messing with them a little bit with that motion. Okay? All right, now, occasionally, and I wish we'd do it a little bit more, we put the back away from the call. ball, okay? And we mess with those linebackers a little bit with their fits when we do that. The only thing that we felt like when we put that back away from the call is we got to get him to be a little bit tighter, because we had this thing blocked pretty good, and he just takes it a little bit wide. Like to keep him right up that hash mark right there. Don't take it quite so wide there, okay? Hit a little bit tighter, all right? And that's been a good play for us. You got to have you a little bit of a boy dog there at tight end, okay? He's not a boy dog, but he did do a nice job there. All right. There. All right, our next signature play is the counter, okay? It is what it is. It marries up with the power. All the fullback and the guard are doing is trading assignments. The guard is kicking out, and the tackle is, the fullback is blocking for the onside linebacker. Everything is exactly the same for everybody else, okay? And we're just gapping this bad boy off and working to the second level. You know, we have not run this to the right, okay? We have not. Can't talk him into it, okay? Again, we got to get a good puller. We got to get this guy to do a better job, get his pads down and all that kind of stuff. But again, this has been a good play for us, okay? And we will, again, run the counter with the back offset some. All right, we read here, we're getting squeezed, so the guard pulls. We tell the guard on that pull, don't take no for an answer. Kick the dude out, and the fullback will make us right, and we'll bounce outside. A little window dressing here, and we put the back again, like I said a while ago, we moved them instead of having the back over here, and we messed up their fits, okay? This is a change up for us where we messed up their fits a little bit. We got our back to come over, and we got us a nice little play right here. Quarterback counter. All we're doing here is a little bit of window dressing. We're faking a speed sweep with our halfback, okay? And the quarterback is now running the football. Been a good play for us. NFL guys, I don't think y'all would be doing this a whole lot. Quarterback again. Linemen, we're in 21 personnel here. We're faking the speed sweep. Quarterback counter, and we got the numbers right. Here we're running the diamond counter. Same play for the line, same exact play for the O-line, okay? But now our fullback is running the same play as the counter, and now our diamond back is now blocking 4, okay? He's blocking 4, and we're handing the football off. That's been good for us. The play actions off these have been very, very good as well. I don't need these. We already looked at these. All right, we will get in a wildcat and run 2-back power. All right, that's been good for us. We'll bring a tackle over and do some of that kind of stuff. If we get a stud tight end, we don't have to do that. We had one of those guys when we were at Arkansas State. Of course, we tried to move him to tackle. You know, that's what we tried to do. Murray, he's pretty good now. He's pretty good. Don't need to see that. It's a 2-back power. Okay, power. Power read's been real good for us, okay? It's been real good for us. All the line is doing is blocking the power again, okay? And we're reading the defensive end. We only read this if the back buzzes or the back comes in and gets stationary, okay? We don't want to have to read this with a long, fast lightning motion. That's kind of tough for the quarterback. So we only read it when the back is in the backfield, all right? But this has been a good play for us. Reading the defensive end there, hand it to a fast guy and let him run. The O-line, this is a great play right here. Coach Alexander, you know why? Because the offensive line don't have to block nobody, okay? That's one of them plays where the line doesn't have to block anybody, okay? I love those kind of plays. Yeah, well, I got another one like that, okay? This is a good play. It's been a good play for us, all right? Again, we're in trips. The onus is on these guys, okay? The onus on these guys on the perimeter. It's always tough. I mean, those guys have to be boy dogs out there. They got to do a great job. The backside guard knows he's blocking for the quarterback. All right? We like to hand that football off to a fast guy on the perimeter. Get one here where the quarterback is actually, all right, here against Georgia. Again, the line is running to power. We get it gapped off pretty good right there. The backside guard's blocking for the quarterback there. Probably ought to keep it up inside. Good athlete making a play. Now here we're blocking 4, okay? With the back, we're in split alignment right there. Quarterback keeps the ball. Reading the defensive end. Now, we do the speed sweep, this play here, and again, the perimeter blocking is very, very critical. We do this off the power, but we'll also do this off of wrong way zone, okay? So we'll zone one way and we'll run the speed sweep back the other way, or we can do it off the power. Personally, I prefer to do it off of wrong way zone, where we're pushing the zone this way and we're reading this defensive end back this way, okay? And once again, I like it off inside zone. We started doing that late last year, okay? And this particular picture right here, our line is blocking power, okay? And now these guys, he's going to block the first threat. Our fullback is going to block first threat. So if this defensive end runs up the field right here, he's not going to pass him up. He's going to. Can y'all cut? You can't cut in high school. That's a damn dirty shame. Okay, that's a damn dirty shame. They're just taking football right out of football, ain't they? All right. Now, what he's going to do though is he's going to cruise. He'll block first threat. Here it's the linebacker, and the other guy's going to block the next scraping guy inside. I'll show you one here. One here where the back does a great job. All right, fullback here, he's going to block the scraper. And then, guys, it's old arc blocking on the speed option. That's all it is. It's arc blocking on the speed option. Hand it to a fast guy and let him run. All right, all we're doing here is a little window dressing here. We're shifting everybody. Just, hey, shift, and then bring in motion, okay? And then hand the football off. Not real complicated, okay? Not real complicated, but been pretty effective. And all this stuff right here is just window dressing. Now here we're running wrong way zone. The only thing that I tell these guys now, after I've screwed around with this a little bit, I tell him to take one step with his inside foot, okay? One step with his inside foot just to make sure that he's protecting that A-gap. Okay? And then I want him to load that left hand arm or that outside hand up, and I want him to big arm that 3 technique. Okay? This guy right here, I just want him to take a short lateral shuffle and get friggin' vertical. Okay? He's a little bit too far inside. All right? He goes a little bit too far inside and then pin that backside linebacker. If we get the front side linebacker with this tackle right here, they're going to fire this guy. Okay? They're going to get him another linebacker. But we should be able to get the backside linebacker. Okay? And again, it's just big arm that guy. The 3 technique isn't the deal. It's getting that backside linebacker blocked. Here, a couple minutes. Okay. In this instance right here, our fullback's done a great job right here of blocking first threat. He didn't pass that up, and then we get on the edge right there with our number 4 guy, and then here we go down the sideline against a good football team. All right. I'm not going to. I'm not going to have time. I don't think I've only got a couple of minutes, but I will say this about this play, okay? This play right here, the buck sweep, marries with our power and our counter, okay? Gus Malzahn taught me the buck sweep. Did he teach you the buck sweep? He taught me the buck sweep, okay? It's where what we try to do is we try to get both guards out on this buck sweep. It marries up very, very well with that open end power. Okay? But everything that I've learned about this play, Gus Malzahn taught it to me because I didn't know jack crap about it. All right? But I will say this, that if I leave to take another job, whether it's voluntary or not, okay? All right, y'all catch that? I hope it's voluntary, but in this business, you never know anymore. Okay? I would take this play with me. All right, I think this play is a very good. Have I got time to show like one play? Okay. All right, I would take this play with me because in this offense it marries so well. And the whole theory behind the play is when this guy right here starts wrong, and we just run it so much that we get good at reading it. But the theory behind the play is if the defensive end is wrong shouldering the power, then you come back and you run the buck sweep. Okay? Now we line this back up where he's on the inside leg of the tackle, and we tell him we want to hit this dude right down the middle. All right, now the ideal thing, you really want to log the guy, but we're hoping that that guy will close a little bit, and we don't want any penetration, okay? We tell our guards we want to get a deeper pull technique. We've got to clear everything, okay? And we want to run what we call a question mark right here, okay? Now, the guard, as he pulls, he needs to get vertical right now and do what I say, scrape a little skin, his hip, scraping skin off that fullback and get a little question mark and then go kick out support. The backside guard is going to pull and he's going to feel this block right here, and he's got to split eye the backside linebacker. We're going to crack the first linebacker in the box with the number one receiver, okay? And then we're off to the races. Now, all this is right here, that's just window dressing, okay? Just a little misdirection right there, just to give them something to look at. This has been a real good play for us. Well, you know, we checked it last year, guys, and we averaged 8.6 yards a carry on this darn play. I mean, maybe we didn't call it enough. Now, if we need any type of A-gap threat, then our guard is now going to stay in. And the guard, this guard, and the tackle will now work to the backside linebacker, and our backside guard hears it or he doesn't see a fat ass in front of him. I tell him this, if you don't hear the call or you don't see a fat ass in front of you, all right, that's pretty easy. Now you're going to go and you're going to go block support. Okay? So these two guys, they're just switching assignments right there. Don't pass that guy up, dude. Don't pass up one to get to one. That's not very smart. All right, last one right here, and then I got to sit down, right, Paul? Okay. All right, I got a whole lot more crap on this tape now. Okay? Again, the theory behind it. We're trying to get the ball on the perimeter. Okay? That end is wrong shouldering, then we get a good field. Go out and block support. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
You know, from Coach McNally and what have you. Anyway, I'm just going to talk about something that we've been playing around with, and we call it circular force. I think that's a term they use in Tai Chi martial arts, and it sounded good to me, so that's what we did. But the first thing I want to talk about is these fundamentals. Okay, we say to we're in a 2-point stance of everybody except the center, and we say that we want to play with our hands in front of us and long. okay, our fundamentals. We want to play with our body condensed, short body, and we want to stomp our feet. So this is just something that we talk about all the time, and all we're doing here is, this is footwork that we do, different footwork. These two guys are pretty good players, and all we're trying to do is stomp our feet and change direction. Okay, we want to keep centered, we want to change direction, we want to be able to stick our feet into the ground. Okay, and we want to be able to keep our butt down, what we call dragging the tail. Okay, so just keep that in mind because we think that's pretty important. This is a variation of the, duck walk, and all we call it Groucho Marx. Anybody remember Groucho Marx? Okay, Groucho Marx. Okay, so Groucho used to walk like this. Okay. And all we're trying to do is keep the tail dragging, and then we just start stomping, okay? So we're changing pace, and this is the infamous skip technique that we use. But what's important about this is the fundamentals. Now, we've been rolling meatballs, tennis balls, and what we started to do is, this is mudras. It's a yoga deal. We just hook our thumbs. It's active learning. It's the same as, I don't know if anybody do the tennis balls? Okay. Instead of doing the tennis balls now, we're doing this. Okay. And it's amazing how it changes a kid. Now, it might be a little bit tough to do it from a three-point stance. You gotta do that. So maybe clapping the hands, okay, like Coach Bechtel used to do. But anyway, let's go to what we're actually going to talk about. Circular force is simply this. There's three ways to make force in the human body. Okay, you push, you pull, or you torque. Okay, and when we're talking about torque, we're talking about trunk torque, trunk twist. Okay, now the interesting thing about pushing and pulling is it changes the shape of your body, but it also changes your center of gravity. When you push somebody, you're straightening your limbs. Okay, when you gather or pull somebody, you're straightening your limbs. Okay, if you do a power clean, your butt's coming up, you're gathering, you're changing your center of gravity. Okay, and our fundamental of staying stable and being able to change direction, we don't want to, hey coach, we don't want to change our center of gravity. With torque, trunk torque, you have to change your shape because we're bipeds, we're two-legged animals, but you don't have to change your center of gravity because what you're doing is rotating around the center of gravity. And what we learned, let me just do this up here. Oh, okay. When you're going to push somebody, it's just as important to push them and just as important to pull with the opposite hand. You don't have anything, you're just doing this, okay? And what that is it balances. It's like a counterweight. Even though I'm sending force forward, I'm sending force backwards, and the force is traveling in a circle, and it keeps me stable. And what we found is it allows you to play with your knees bent. Okay, now we're going to see me and Aaron are going to. Where's Mersh? Stand up, Mersh. This is a guy. He's my right-hand man. He's actually probably the man. Okay, so this is just an example. We use the medicine balls, and what we're doing is we're pulling the hand off. This is a kind of a lifting or an uppercut. Okay, but we're trying to stay stable. And we're trying to maintain knee bend. Okay. Now this is just putting it. Let me explain this drill to you. We've done a variation of this drill for a long time. It's a variation of the tear drill. Okay, all we're trying to do here is he's the defensive player. He's going to trigger this thing. He's going to try and drive him backwards. He's got one hand on what we call a shield, and he's anchored on this man. And when this man triggers, he's going to just add force. He's going to add circular force. Okay, and notice, Scott Peters is going to talk tomorrow. He's really good with blocking hands and what have you. But we actually just pull the hand off. See this hand right here? And here's the deal. This kid is 320 pounds. Well, he's 300 pounds. Okay, and I've forever believed in lifting. But the problem with lifting is this: you've got to overcome gravity. This stuff, you're just destabilizing the guy. You're using gravity. Like we're two-legged animals. We learn how to walk on 2 feet, but it's just balance. And if you get destabilized, you've lost control. What we say is if we can maintain control, okay, and make him lose control, we're in pretty good shape. Now this is just some examples of pass pro. This is my guy, 68. Okay, I think it's pass pro. Yep, pass pro. Okay, and he's just going to take that one hand. He's going to use this as a shield. Take the inside hand, turn it in, and just take the other hand off and use some circular force. If you look at, okay, he's sort of two-handing it. Okay, he's playing around, but he's trying to get that inside hand in. And of course, the three technique knocked the ball down. Okay, so here's Aaron and I playing with it. And this is a short motion, okay, not a real long motion. Okay, it's sort of that punch, wrist roll, tip of the spear thing that Scott was talking about. But he's pulling his hand off just as hard. And it's not the arm, guys, it's not the arm. It's the trunk. It's the trunk that makes the force, not the arm. Don't try to do it with the arm. It's not about your arm. Okay? Here's another one. This is maybe a little bit better hand placement where you can see it a little better. Okay, see him put that hand. We say that if you can get your hand on a guy's armpit or his ribs, you got him. Okay, you can see him. He's working for the ribs under the armpit. He's working for the ribs under the armpit. And we believe in striking distance. We're not going to throw. We're not going to reach. We're going to wait till the guy's close enough, and then we're going to strike him. Okay, now this is the old man doing it, and of course I'm doing it in slow motion. I'm trying to demonstrate. You know, we haven't figured out how to put sound on these things, but I'm pulling and pushing at the same time. This is the concept of circular force. Now just an anecdotal thing, anybody know anything about motors? A piston engine, piston goes up and down, it changes linear force to circular force. Well, guess what? That crankshaft, if you spin the crankshaft, it changes circular force to linear force. That's all we're doing here, okay? That's all we're doing. So, and what I'm saying is, I'm going to pull, and watch my knee. My knee is going down. See it? That's what we're looking for. That's one of our fundamentals. Okay, condense, condense, condense. We don't want to straighten. We want to condense our legs. How do you generate force without straightening your legs? Well, we think it's torque, circular force. Okay? There's my lunch right there. Okay, so see what I'm doing here? Boom. Okay. Now this is a longer force, but I'm trying to emphasize it. It's a longer pull. Okay. It's like I'm pulling something out of a wall, and it keeps me balanced. Now we're just going to go through the, hey, I got to be staggered so I don't knock myself backwards. I got to stabilize. So on and so forth. Now this is just a transition from an inside set to an outside set, and again, watch the hand placement, okay, of this right guard here, okay. He was setting inside, the guy rocked out. See him fight for that armpit, okay. And if you look at, let's see, I think the tackles are better here too. Same thing, going for the armpit. Here's a guy getting chopped. He's hanging the hand out looking for a chop. He's going to take the inside hand and throw it. Okay? Okay, here's a couple more guys doing the drill. Again, we're trying to keep the knees bent. Okay, he's triggering. This kid's 300-pound kid. He's a 300-pound kid. See the nice long arm, the shield, and boom. Okay? And we just think if we can destabilize a guy, now Jakey here's one of our best players. This is what happens when he straightens the knee, okay? He's got to add force, but it's still circular force. He's still adding it. This kid's about 305 and pretty strong kid. And what we say is when that man takes a step, he's not anchored anymore. He's not rooted. And if I can keep rooted, I'm going to be able to add force. He's on one foot, I'm on two. Does that make sense? Okay? If you're caught, here's the deal. If you fire off the ball and knock the guy back, everything's good. We're trying to coach what happens if you get caught in a stalemate. What happens now? Do we lose? Do over? What do we do? Okay, add force. add force, okay, and it's force as impetus. We don't want to just sit there and push each other. Okay, if I'm 300 pounds and I'm pushing a guy who's 300 pounds, we both bench 400 pounds, we're not going anywhere. It's like a train wreck. What we would prefer to do is hit and then somebody add force. If I add force in a different manner, in other words, he's pushing me and I'm throwing him, I'm in good shape. Okay? Anyway, let's keep going here. And here's Big Vince. I think he's going to do it next. Vince he straightens out a little bit. Okay, and to me he's a little too far forward and a little short, but he looked kind of good and he's stomping his feet. Now here Aaron's a wise guy. He's two-handing this. Here's the other thing, guys. Every sport that imaginable is played with 1 foot foremost and 1 hand foremost, including football, except for offensive line. Right? So last year we made a commitment to play with 1 hand foremost. And what we found is you're not really doing it with your arm anyway. You're doing it with your trunk and your legs and your hips. So what's the difference? This thing is just an anchor. Lock it up and do the work with your hips and body. And then you can also switch hands. As long as I'm anchored to the guy and I'm anchored to the ground, I can transfer force. I'm the force in between the 2 anchors. Right? You need resistance in order to make force. So the ground is resistance and the opponent's resistance. How am I doing, Aaron? What am I leaving out? Any jokes? Okay, so Aaron's down now. He's going to do a little jab. And I'm like, yeah, don't do the jab. I want you to pull. So he says, okay. And he just about knocks my teeth out. I mean, look at, I'm like, ooh. I'm like, oh. But this is the thing right here. See it? His knee goes down. And he's totally stable, and he's rocking me pretty good. Okay? So now I'm a little upset. So I go again, now I'm flinching. I don't want to get hit anymore. He misses on this one. We use the balls for a reason. They're small. You've got to be precise with it. Okay? Somebody pitches you a fastball, you swing like hell and miss, it's strike 1. Hit the ball, okay? So that what it does is it focuses force, okay? Those are Gopher Sports 14-pound soft balls. Gopher Sports in Minnesota, okay? We got them, they're growing like mushrooms. Now here's the shorter force producer. We call this hidden force. So let's say you are two-handed, okay? Just woo, okay? I got 2 hands, I got woo. Okay? It's just a little quicker, a little shorter. Okay? It's not as obvious, but you can see it's fairly good force producer, and here's the beauty of it right here. Okay? He does it to me. I have to take my glasses off because he decleats me a little bit. And it doesn't look like much, but you're saying we're doing it with 1 hand. No, we're not. We're doing it with 2. And we're not doing it with our hands at all. We're doing it with our trunk. Hands are just anchors. It's just like when you power clean, your hands are ropes. Same thing. This is a spear. I'm not doing anything with my arm. I'm just locking it out and getting it in a good position. I'm doing everything with my trunk. Okay, does it make sense? Anybody have a question? Just interrupt me because I love this stuff and I just keep talking. Okay, so Jake doesn't pull quite as much. And I think he straightens just a little bit too much for me, but there's a good one. See him put a dent in that ball? Okay? All right, now this is defined, and this is a different thing. Okay? This is just the hammer. This is where your thumbs are hooked together, and you hammer. I'm going to go through this. Okay? This is just plain zone stuff. Okay? I don't want to talk about this tonight. Okay? Okay, this is pace and translation. Now, here's the deal, guys. How many guys drove here on the interstate? How fast were you going? Like 70, 80 miles an hour? Changing lanes a little bit, but you were safe because everybody's going in the same direction. Okay? Now, you get into Cincinnati, you're going 80? No. You're stopping, you're going, you're braking, you're backing up, you're turning, you're this. Okay, football, and this is the way we coach it. It's not one-on-one, it's not two-on-two, it's 11 on 11. Our tackles are taught to go off the safeties. They're talking to us all the time about which safety's down, which one's up. Okay, it's 11 on 11. So everything we do, we're trying to keep our pecker pointed north. That's called translation. And we're turning the turret, not the tank. Okay, so that we can protect ourselves in a 180-degree fashion. Okay, we're turning the turret, not the tank. It's not the shoulders. I used to talk about the shoulders all the time. Shoulders are fine, it's the pecker. You turn the pecker, you got a problem. Okay? We don't want to turn the tank. And the other thing is speed, pace. Pace is speed, different speeds. Okay, and this is what we do. If I've got this gap and there's a guy in my gap, go get him, green light. Green light, step on the gas, go get him. If there's nobody within striking distance, I stop. And I kind of move around, but I stay on this side of the line of scrimmage because now I can help and I can actually make the linebacker come to me by hammering the hole open or rewinding and shutting it off and making the backer and the back come to me. And then the third, that's red light. The third thing is yellow light. Now, the guy's on me, he's going to hit me, he's not in my gap. If I block him, I give up my gap. If I block my gap, I give up him. That's where this translation stuff comes in. I'm going to learn how to either stay square on him and get some help, or I'm going to turn him back to somebody. Okay, we'll get to that, I think. I don't think we're going to be able to do it tonight. But let me just show you this drill. Okay, all this is staying square, keeping your pecker pointed north. Someone's hitting you from the side. You're trying to keep your butt down. Okay, and you're just giving a little pressure, and now you're shuffling off. Okay, this is with the hand. Same thing. Okay, trying to stay condensed, trying to play long. When you play long, your strike radius increases. You don't have to move your feet as far. Am I right? Okay. Okay, and then we just shuffle off. Okay. Here's everybody doing it. This kid's a pretty good player. He's a pretty good player. He's so-so. He's a good kid, though. Better player than I ever was. That I know. Okay. Let's just see what this is here. Okay, we're watching this guy. Come on, guy. Okay, so here he's in red light. Boom. He's just going to give a little help. We don't double team. Okay, Coach Grimes did a great job talking about the double team. We give help. Either he's helping us or we're helping him, because we don't want to overcommit ourselves to any one direction. And this is the pace thing. He's fast. He's slow. He's slow. He's fast. Okay, and that's all it is. Okay, same thing here. This is just red light again. Okay. Now he's like, well, I'm getting crowded here. I'm not sure what I can do. Here comes the backer. Everybody's happy. Boom, we make contact with everybody and spit it through. Okay, this is going to be a stretch, I think, of the hand. Okay, so now his backer, we're pointing. This man is the mic. This guy's the minus. He's got to move to get leverage on him, so he's going to shuffle and encircle sideways, but he's going to stretch the hand because there's no reason for him to hurry. Well, right? I got time. If I go smoking out of there, I can't help anybody. Okay? Make sense? All right, let's go to the next thing. Okay, this is just using your arm. This is real circular force now, using your arm to throw. Okay, so this would be a typical thing. When we say we're going to cover somebody, what we mean is we're going to get our headgear, our stripe past his stripe, and our feet in front of him. This isn't covered. This is covered. I got my body in front of him. Okay, but when we can't do it, okay, when we realize that we can't do it, we're going to throw just like we're throwing a shot put. Okay, this is the guy we're looking at right here. Just put your hand into his armpit and toss him. Okay, looks pretty good. This is the middle zone, by the way. This is all C-gap zone. Okay, this is just this kid here. Okay, trying to get into the armpit. Okay, throws. Okay, keeps himself stable and recovers. Okay, here's this guy is putting his stop sign out. Okay, the man has decided to jet. Well, go ahead, jet. I'll throw you. Okay, we know it's not a twist after a step or two, so this is what we're going to do. Okay. Okay, both tackles here. I thought this was pretty good. And this is obviously, we have to do this every day to keep the defense happy, one-on-one drills. But then we actually do some team, which is good. Okay, so we're staying square. We're keeping our pecker pointed north as long as we can. Not so good here. Okay. Okay, here's the long arm by the defensive guy. Let's just get into his armpit and throw him. Okay, same thing here. Let's just get in his armpit and throw him. This is a real throw now. Okay? We're destabilizing him. We're adding force to his force. We're taking him further than he wants to go. Vince Lombardi said it 100 years ago, right? Run to daylight. It's the same idea. Okay? And this is just a nice throw. I thought this was kind of neat. Okay? Pulled the hand off. Probably should have got the other hand in when he turned. Okay, but staying with the one hand. Okay, this kid benches, I don't know what, 400 pounds, and he power cleans the whole, you know, they're both bulls. They're both about 6'1". Same guy here. Move your feet before you move your weight, okay, to keep your knees bent. We talk about staying condensed and dragging our tail. Imagine you got like an alligator tail coming out of your butt. Keep it on the ground. Okay, and there's another throw. And we're looking at this guy here. Throw. Throw. All right. It gets a little boring after a while. This is the D-line coach. He gets pissed, but you know they beat us too sometimes. So. Okay, and this is just again throwing using trunk torque. 1-2. We're trying not to do you have to do it sometimes. Two hands at the same time. But we're trying to go 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Okay, that's what we're trying to do. Okay? All right, now this is just us picking up some movement. This is, correct me if I'm wrong. You told me this, so I'm saying it, and I'm going to pin it on you. Over the last 4 years, I was there the first year, and I was at Penn State for 2, now I'm back. Over the last 4 years, we are the #1 team in Division I for the least amount of yards lost, tackles for loss, sacks, whatever. Okay, and we pride ourselves in being able to pick up movement. Is this the first play or was it running? Go back? Okay, we pride ourselves in being able to, oh, we went real far, huh? Okay. All right, what we're trying to do is pick up run-throughs, don't let penetration happen. Okay, and we think that pace has a lot to do with this. Okay, watch this guard, the right guard. Here's a nose rock. Okay, the center, he goes from green light to red light. Okay, the guard goes from red light to green light. This guy goes from red light to green light, and off we go. Okay, and we put it on the safety who makes lots of tackles. Okay, here's a okay. This is the center. He's going red light now, and what we're doing is getting back gapped. So if he was smoking up the field, he wouldn't be able to do this. Now all he does is put the brakes on, shut it off, make the back come to him, and the backer insists on going back door, he's screwed. Okay. Now if that center had gone smoking out of there, he wouldn't have been able to do that. All he'd been able to do is chase the backer. Okay, and this is just a standard grab. This guy goes from yellow light to green light. We just grab him and throw him. Okay, it's not a. We don't you know, like, we don't do much with game plans. Coach says they run 4 plays, we run 3. Watch this guy right here. He thinks he's got the 3 technique. There's the infamous skip step. He winds up on the fold guy. This is obviously some kind of zone blitz. Okay? Because this end is so wide, this guard doesn't have to worry so much about his B gap. And they just kind of pick, you know, it's just sort of like a moving wall. Okay? All right? Okay, this is our center. Okay, he's going from red light, and he's doing what we call a scoot, or he goes from shuffle to a scoot. And a shuffle means get 1 foot under you. A scoot means gets both feet behind you. Okay, and sometimes it looks like we're getting knocked back, and sometimes we are. But it doesn't matter as long as our feet are behind us. And what we say is this: if you're gonna not hit something, you've got to have yourself held up, but you've got to have 1 foot deeper so that you can protect your gap. Okay? If you're going to hit something, he's going to hold you up. You can have both feet behind you. We don't go backwards. We just make our feet go backwards. It's called a scoot, and that lets us trigger forward on the 3rd step. Okay, so this kid goes from a shuffle. He's red light. He goes from shuffle to a green light, and then you see him put the hand in there. And we're sold on this one hand stuff. Okay. This is the scoot. This is the infamous scoot. Okay, I'm going to sit here down because I'm probably blocking everybody's view. Okay, what I want you to look at is his helmet and his feet. And see this line? We did this specifically for you guys. The helmet does not go backwards. How do you get in front of somebody who's not in front of you? Coach, can I borrow you for a second? Okay. So everybody, you know, Paul taught us the brace step. I don't even know if you use that terminology anymore. Step deep and brace your foot. So here's the deal. If I brace step and attack him with this foot, I can throw him out, but I can't get in front of him. So what I do is sort of a double brace. I can get in front of him. How do I get in front of a guy that's not in front of me? Well, if he comes to me, great. But if he's jetting the gap, okay, I get both feet behind me. Both hands on, I'm pushing the car, and then I just transition from pushing the car to throwing, or pushing the car to stuffing, or pushing the car to lifting, whatever I want to do, or whatever I have to do. Does that make sense? That's the scoot over. That was Don Perry's word. Scoot over. Did I lose this thing? Okay, so anyway, Jake's pretty good at this. And what we like to do here is mixed hands. We like to have the shield and the weapon. Okay, we can do it like this, we can do it like this, but we've gone to this mixed hands thing. I think it's pretty good. Because this hand's a little longer, this hand's a little stronger. Okay? And we like the balls because it's tight target. I think this guy's a little short with his hands, but he's not late. You know what I mean? Like he's going to make contact with his hands before he makes it with anything else. And watch the footwork. This is scooting. It keeps you square, okay? We can get in front of somebody, but he'll sling us if we take a big arc step. Now, if we don't care about getting slung, if we're on the backside, we'll arc or skip. But when we're in the stovepipe, is Dave Johnson here? Okay, if we're in the stovepipe, if we're where we're running, we want to stay square and get in front of the guy so the back can't see him. All the back can see is our back and gaps. Okay? And we think this is the way to get in front of somebody who's not in front of us. This kid's pretty good at this. Tell me when I'm running out of time. The only thing I don't like about him is he's raising up too much. Okay? This is Vince. Now, we picked this one just to show you that 1 foot could be in front of the other. Okay, this is probably a little bit too much of a crossover. But here's the deal. If you go if you brace, like Paul taught us years ago, if you brace with this foot and then drive forward with this foot, you can't step with that foot. You're in trouble unless you have a lot of momentum. And if you're developing a lot of momentum, it's because you have space. Well, if you're a center, you don't have any momentum. You snap the ball and you're hit, right? Okay. So what we say is, if we do this, we can take that vertical step. So the second step triggers us to go vertical. That makes sense? See Bob for refunds. Okay. Well, anyway. Okay. So this is my big boy here. Okay. You can see the footwork pretty decent. It's deep go. And you know he's got his thumbs together. We don't really like that for this particular movement. I'm telling him right now. See, now he does it. Now he's going to do the hooks, the fish hooks, which is much better, much stronger. It's just short with two hands. Okay. This guy does the mixed hands here. A high hand, a long hand. Right? See it? High and long, and low and strong. And we like the medicine balls because they become part of the guy's body. Okay, so this is everybody doing scoots right here. Okay, I thought this was kind of good. I don't know why. I just sit. No one really talks to me in the office, so I just sit there and fool around with the computer. This kid gets hit in the chest because he doesn't hook his thumbs together. Okay, and he gets driven back. But all he does, all right, I'm driven back, coach. Now what do? I just get beaten out. Add force. Add some force. Okay. Trying to get in front, guy won't let him get in front, okay, throw him. Okay? Can't quite get in front, okay, throw him. Okay? Staying square, keeping your pecker pointed north, okay? Guy's trying to bait you, okay, throw him. Everybody's happy. Okay? Okay, pretty good scoot here. The center is definitely too far. He's too long with the second step. I'd like him to trigger. What we say is it's not a bucket set. Put both feet in the bucket. And it's a pretty big bucket. You don't want to cross over. Okay? But he's engaged, and here we go. Okay? Problem is he gets slung because he doesn't change from pushing to pulling. This is our fancy wishbone stuff that we're doing now, reading the 3 technique. Okay, this is on the goal line. We're 2-point stance even on the goal line. You know, because we're going to throw it down there too. I don't like this hand placement. Okay, this guy doesn't what we call Apache. Okay, but I just put that on there because I thought it was kind of interesting. Because everybody says 2-point stance, you're soft. I don't think we're soft. I don't know if we're particularly hard, but I don't think we're soft. Okay, this is. This is the new thing, okay, and this is in honor of Floyd Mayweather. Okay, this is Michigan style. Floyd shoulder roll. He protects his body, protects his head. Okay, if we want to protect our chest, if we want to protect our chest with our hands, that's good. But if we have to get our hands off to the side for some reason, okay, we shoulder roll. We used to call it shoulder point. But we shoulder roll and then backhand instead of the old flipper lift. Okay, the flipper lift does what? It changes your center of gravity. Okay, the shoulder roll protects your chest, and the backhand is, again, circular force. Okay, circular force. So here's Jakey. Gets the shoulder down, backhand. And what it does, what we found is it kind of slingshots you off to where you want to go anyway. All you're trying to do is set it up for the next guy. So then we add a shoulder chip in there. We're just drilling it different. I make this stuff up every day. I just make stuff up. Okay. Head coach doesn't care. He lets me do whatever I want. He doesn't want to argue with me. I'm a lot older than him. He just lets me do it. Okay. Keeps the knees bent. Okay. All right. So here's here's the Mayweather, and it has to be a step through. In order to use circular force, you got to have 1 foot under you. Okay? So this guy, what we're doing is we're saying this guy is yellow light. I don't know if he's a 3, I don't know what. If I engage him, he'll run through. I got a problem. Okay? I want to move a little bit to him. Okay? Backhand with circular force, set it up for this guy. Okay? And I just think it's better than the old shoulder lift. Okay? Okay, get the shoulder down, and it's not so much what you're doing with your hands. It's that Floyd Mayweather deal. Okay, get that shoulder down. Quarterback doesn't know he's allowed to pull the ball on triple. You know the Auburn guy? He would have been like over here. He'd be drinking water in the end zone. This guy right here, I ran a 5.2 40 in college, so he and I would have a pretty good race. But he's a good kid, and he's pretty smart. I did, honest to goodness. It was 1971, I think. Jack Bignell timed me. He's like, Strollo. He says, John, you ran pretty good there. And I said, yeah, Coach, I know. I think I pulled a muscle, though. Boom. Okay? So what we're saying to this guy is, let's turn him into something. Okay? Let's make him into red light so that the tackle can take him on. So the tackle becomes green light, and this guy, we're forcing him into something. We're making him, and we're making the linebacker come to us.
Now, why do you think he's got to step through?
Because you can't backhand with your feet, both feet back. You got to have 1 foot in front of you, or under you, not in front of you, under you. One's got to come ahead.
I'm just saying, it almost looks like he's overstride.
Here's the thing. If everything you do is like this, you're going to lose a lot of races. Sometimes you have to get somewhere a little faster. But just because you go boom boom and then stop, it really, as long as you're stable, everything always goes back to those 3 fundamentals: long, condensed, stable.
John,
Yeah.
what would you do if that linebacker steps forward?
Well, if the linebacker took 2 steps forward and played from there, you used to call it pepper. Okay, play action pass. Okay, but what we would really do, I think that he would, doing this, he'd be fine, because what he's doing is he's stepping. If that guy runs through from 2. He's already taken a step. He's stepping to the backer first. That's the whole key to this thing. I'm stepping to the nose rock. I'm stepping to the backer. If I step to the 3 technique, I give this up. So I'm stepping here. Now, how do I keep him there? Let the tackle block him. And then I'm going to work this way. What you're saying is if he lets me do it, well, now I'm going to shuffle till I can get in front of you. It's just like I'm going to scoot to you. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's going to happen quicker. He's got time here.
You know, to put the guy back on the tackle, self the tackle.
But let me ask you a question, Coach, and then this is just me. Okay, if all the linebackers are all jammed up in there, and we're trying to push the freaking A-gap run in, so they should make us get a lot of boxes and collect them and stuff them with our junk and get the hell out. I mean, after a while, that's why you have the C-gap zone or the pin and pull or play action pass or anything but, what we're doing now is the thing that Coach was showing us. Read the end and then pull it and pass it. It's illegal, but it works good. It's great stuff. Okay. All right. So here's game stuff, and this is where we kind of got the idea. This is sort of a shoulder chip, but the man's attacking us. And normally, what we would do is we would have grabbed this, but now we're saying, well, let's just make him stay where he's at. Now this makes 44 come to the guard, and it makes the back come to the guard. Okay, and this is, believe it or not, this is the C-gap zone. Let me see if I can slow this thing down a little bit. Okay, so you see where this upright is? That's where we're trying to put the back, right there, the read spot. Now everybody in America would have said that back is cutting back, but he's not. He's just squaring his feet up. And I got this from Bob when I worked with you, to the read spot. That's your deal, okay? This solved all the problems. You know, if you get a running back coach that buys into the read spot, life is good. You don't even have to drink. I mean, I mean, it's all good. You know, if you get a guy cutting in the backfield, it's just so sad. Because the head coach, he always says that the linemen who can't see what the back is doing are at fault. So all this guy's doing is slowing it down. He's giving it a little shoulder chip. Okay? Now this is game tape, so we hadn't gone into the backhand stuff yet, but that's pretty much it right there. Okay? What I like about it, again, is it keeps the knees bent. This guy just decided to skip, and I'm not sure why, but I think it's because he felt like he was going to get a rock. Okay? Probably this time. Oh, you know why? Because we're in two tight ends, and this guy's down in the front, and he's telling him it's going to rock. He's telling him it's going to rock. So me, I don't like two tight ends. I mean, get them out of there. Yeah. Unless they can catch. Like at Penn State, we put mostly tight ends out there. Okay? So that's why he skipped. He thought he was going to get a rock. Just changing pace. And this, Aaron, this hurts, right? When you get chipped like this. I mean, this guy right now, he's like, okay? And here's us running it's like the old days, the wishbone. Now here's an example of a guy that's skipping through, and this guy turns into green light. He just grabs him and throws him. Watch this. This is the longest run this kid ever had. He's saying right now, please, somebody tackle me. Somebody tackle me. I can't. Oh God. Okay. Just give me the hook. And so this is all right. I'm done. Okay, this is a shoulder chip from Pat. Let me show you one more deal here. Okay. All right. Let me go to this. Okay. Okay, so here's a little pass set stuff, and the reason I wanted to show you this is not so much for the pass sets, but how we work the wrench, okay? This is our wrench drill, and what we're saying is these guys are on defense, and they've already stepped through. They got us beat. We're beat. And what we're going to do is we're going to use, again, circular force. We've got our hand here. Come here, Aaron. Okay. So he's already given me the arm under. He stepped through. Go to the audience. Okay, and we actually start like this, and he triggers it. He goes with the lift. Okay, and what I got to do is stay condensed and stay heavy and step deep and use this hand to wrench myself in front of him and then get the hand on the hip. It's not bad. Do it again. Well, let me show you the video because I'm all sweaty and everything. Poor kid. Okay, so here goes. Okay, none of these guys are real good at it, but we're going to show you a couple guys. This guy's really good at it. Okay, steps deep, uses the hand to pull himself in front of the defender, and then he puts the other hand on the hip. Okay, and you know this is pretty good. And this is just another pass set. And then this is just Jake. I put this on because it was kind of cool. We have a lot of game film of this, but I just happened to grab this one. And, you know, it's wrench, throw him on the ground. Okay. One more time with Jakey. Okay, and they want to always grab the shoulder pad. I tell them, no, just put your hand in front of his chest. He's trying to step through and lift. You step deep. Put your hand on the hip and choke them. I think like Buddha and Jim used to tell us to put it in the throat or something. I don't remember, but I'm done. End of cut up.